Right then, you lovely lot. This is today's offering. So what we've got today is the Honda Rebel 1100. It's the DCT version. I like a DCT. I know it's not for everyone, but you know, each to their own and all that. So we're going to have a look round the bike as we normally do. I'll show you what I like, what I don't like. And then as always, make sure you join me for the test ride, because I will be brutally honest, as I always am. And as always, please hit that subscribe button because it really does help the channel. First of all, what do you think of the look of it? Personally, I think it's a really good looking bike. This, as far as cruisers go, I think it is. It's lovely. It is very Harley inspired, I do think. We do only have a single disc brake at the front, and you'll see when I do the brake test, it's not particularly sparkling. It's all right. It stops the bike, but I feel more comfortable with the back brake. The back brake feels a lot better at stopping the bike. There's the big lump of an engine, so it does share the same engine as the Africa Twin 1100, albeit this one is tuned slightly different. Got a 2-to-1 exhaust, and you will see very shortly it sounds really nice. The touring pack changes the bike by giving you this and the wind protection at the front, albeit there's not a lot of protection from it, but it also gives you the rack and these rather rubbish bags. These bags are horrendous. They remind me of something that you'd pay about £5 for to carry some schoolwork in, going back in the day. They are a bit naff, and I don't think they improve the look of the bike at all. They are shocking. Certainly when they're not full, they just look like a bit of a sorry, saggy mess. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, see, I don't know what, that just makes it look lopsided. So what they've done is on the right hand side, you've got a small bag. On the left hand side, a bigger one. It just looks like an absolute mess when there's nothing in it. It might look better once they're plushed out a bit, when they've got some stuff in there, but as is, it looks a bit naff. You might have noticed helmet there. I always used to do this with my old cruiser, because you've got a little backrest for your passenger, but it also makes it a lovely little place to secure your helmet when you stop, so I like it for that. The black paint job that we've got on this and the brown seat, I think it does make the bike, well, it stands out a little bit. I think if it was a black seat, it just, yeah, I don't think it'd look as good, but it does look good in that brown. There's buttons everywhere. Now for here, because this is the DCT model, what we've got is, in manual mode, you can go up and down the gears yourself. So we've got a down gear here, and we'll just go around to the other side. There you go, and you've got a plus there, so you can go up and down the gears yourself if you so wish. Quick run through these. So we've got your hazard warning lights there, we've got high and low beam, we've got heated grips. That just changes your rider modes. We do have a mode button, we've got a horn, we've got your indicators. On this side, this is your DCT controls and your cruise. So we've got the engine stop start, we've got your DCT drive mode and neutral, we've got your cruise control, and when you set that, that's your up and down for your speed, so you can adjust the cruise on the go. This side can be a bit of a pain in that the horn itself is quite close to the indicators, so quite often you'll go for the indicator and you'll tap on the horn. I've done that a few times already. I've always called this style of mirror, but on this it actually works because there's no vibration whatsoever, and if you watch the test drive or the test ride of it, you shall see. There is a rather strange placement for the key. So you haven't got the key here as you would have standard. It's actually on the side, which I think is proper old school. Loads of bikes years and years and years ago would have had the key at the side. I'm not a fan of it. There's a lot of information on there, certainly more than what you'd ever need, but it's got the essentials for me. So we've got a nice clear big speedo. We have got the fuel gauge, which is always good, and we've got your rev meter across the top. It does have a gear indicator. Now for me, DCT mode, it kind of makes that pointless. It's nice to know what gear you're in, but it doesn't really matter because the bike's changing it all for you. We've got fuel range, and where it says standard there, this is where we can play with the buttons and change the mode. So we've got sport mode, we've got standard, we've got rain, user mode. I'm guessing that's one you can program. You've also got a manual mode, so you can just go up and down the gears yourself, but we'll talk more about that on the test ride. Really great sounding bike this. Just on idle, it's got a nice little rumble to it. That'll do for the walk round. If you are interested in all the figures, the torque figures, horsepower and all that, I'll put them all on at the end. There's a lot of reviews on this bike anyway, so if you are interested in one of these, I'm sure you'll know the figures anyway, but I'll put them on at the end for your viewing pleasure. For now, I'm going to go and have a ride on this. Make sure you stay with me for the test ride so you can get my thoughts and feelings while we're actually on the move. Looks wise, love it. Ride, I've got loads of, let's say, personal preferences that don't quite suit me. One of which is the seating position. In fact, I'll show you that quickly before I go for the ride. So for me, I feel like my legs are scrunched up. I'm not quite in the fetal position, but I'm not far from it. So riding, it takes a bit of getting used to. But you'll see how it affects me when we're riding around. So make sure you stay for that. And to repeat myself, please do hit the subscribe button. If you've got one of these, especially if you've got long legs, tell me, because I need to know how that affects you, because it really does affect me with these little legs. Well, we're in a car park, going to do a bit of a brake test. Let's check out how it stops. Start it the usual way. Automatically you're into neutral, and to put it into drive you've just got the D button here, and you just feel that little bit of a click. It goes into gear and it's now in the DCT, the fully automatic mode. So we'll have a little go on the car park and I'll test out the brakes. It's a bit weird not having that clutch there, but you know, we'll see how we get on. Okay, so front brake's alright. It's a cruiser, it's not a sports bike, so it's not particularly sharp on the brake, but it stops it. And we'll have a go on the back brake. And the back brake feels actually a bit better than the front, which is very strange. But anyway, it brakes alright. Can't actually argue with that. I am just finding this seating position is a bit cramped, which is weird. I mean, for my short legs, it's not particularly comfortable. The seat's lovely and plush. I like the seat, so my rear is actually quite comfortable. It's just my legs, I feel like I'm really kind of scrunched up, like they should really be a couple of inches lower, and that's for my short legs. So I'd love to know if you are if you're tall, basically. I'd love to know how you actually get on with the seating position, and did you have to change it? Because I would have thought you'd have to, because any legs taller than or longer than mine, surely you'd have to do something, because yeah, not particularly comfortable. Power wise, it's an 1100. It uses the same engine as the latest Africa Twin, albeit slightly different on the tuning, but it's an 1100 beast of a lump, so it should have some decent power with it. As far as the DCT goes, now I've been on the Honda Goldwing. Now that is absolutely perfect. As far as the DCT goes, it is ridiculously smooth through the gears. It's got oodles of power, and as soon as you put it into sport mode, it turns into an absolute rocket ship. Now this, I'm noticing it's not quite as quick as you would expect for an 1100. Again, I know it's a cruiser, so you're not really gonna be buying this sort of bike if going fast is what you're after, but the power delivery is smooth. But you do notice the gear changes on this quite a lot, certainly compared to the Goldwing, which you just don't notice a gear change at all. It is ridiculously smooth, but with this you do notice them, whether it's going up or down a gear. Early doors, when I first got on this bike, it was quite normal for it to be in 5th gear doing 30 mile an hour, and then as I'm trying to show you it doing it, it does something completely different. So I find that in itself a bit weird, because it's not even something that you can get used to, because it's behaving differently now to what it was a few moments ago. So strange. And that gear change then just felt a bit ropey. In fact, I'd be devastated if I changed gear like that myself using the clutch. Very jerky. One thing I do like, because I am slagging it off quite a bit, is the actual seat height itself is really low. For my short legs is really good, because I'm flat foot both sides with a bend in my knee. So I don't know if you eagle-eyed viewers there, but at the traffic lights I thought I would change into sport mode and just see if there was any difference with that, and there is quite a little bit of difference. And it's not so much the power delivery, it's more about the gearing. So all it actually does in sport mode is just hold the gear that little bit longer. So you can see now I'm in 3rd gear doing 32, and it's not looking to change gear at all. So it keeps you in a lower gear, so you are going to use, probably, I would expect anyway, quite a lot more fuel in sport mode. You can see that even dropping down to like 12 mile an hour, 13 mile an hour, it's staying in 1st gear. Yeah, it just keeps it right at that point where you've got loads of power right on tap. So it's the fun mode to be in, but it also makes it really snatchy. I thought the other mode, it felt more comfortable to ride, didn't feel as jerky. The DCT on this is definitely nowhere near that of the quality that is on the Goldwing. There's loads of wind hitting me. That really isn't doing a lot other than make the bike look a little bit better, in my opinion. I'm not noticing a lot of wind protection. I am getting hit in the face and the upper body and the shoulders with the wind. Ah, fuck. See, now I know why Taff always does it on his. So the horn is close to the indicators, and if you look at the size of my thumb there, you can see how easy it is to hit the horn when you're going for your indicator. Let's try a little turn. Now, I don't think I'm gonna get all the way around here. No, I'm not, without hitting the curb. So the turning circle is not particularly good. Oh, I tell you what, just lifting my legs up to get back into this scrunching position, I felt like I was gonna pull something then. As cruisers go, it does have everything on the list for me. It looks cool, it sounds cool, it's got a powerful enough engine that if you did want to give it a little bit of the beans, it will pick up speed, and it sounds like thunderous when it does it. So, you know, it's got all of the drama and all of the thunder that you'd expect and want with a cruiser if you're into that style of bike. But I think it's just these just the pegs. It's where the pegs are. I genuinely feel like I'm being pushed into the fetal position, and all you've got to do is stick it into neutral, and then you can rev it. Let's try the motorway, let's see what it's like. I'm not expecting anything other than it to be windy, but this is a test that's really important to me, because what I've found is, because I've been doing a lot of touring recently and you spend a lot of time on the motorway, so it's got to perform on the motorway. So 60 mile an hour, it's very windy. Again, not a windy day, you only have to look at the trees, but I am feeling quite a lot of wind in the upper part of my chest and shoulders. So let's take it up to 70. Let me see how much of a difference that actually makes. Okay, so doing 70, it's just a little bit more windy. It's not unbearable, you know. I could certainly ride. I could ride with this kind of wind. The bike itself is comfortable and it's nicely planted. Over here, I can hear a bit of a whistling. I don't know what that's coming from. But it is making a little bit of noise. That would grate a little bit on a long journey. That would do my heading, I think. And you got to remember the important bit. It looks cool. And I suppose riding positions and stuff you can get used to. I want to just break down this bike. So for me, it's alright. I wouldn't say it was brilliant. I'm not blown away by it. I think the looks of the bike are really good. I really do like the look of the bike. I like the sound of the bike as well, but the DCT isn't as good as that's on the Goldwing. It just doesn't feel as good. The power delivery is alright. In sport mode it holds the gear a little bit longer. In standard mode it's smoother. So on a personal note, I prefer the standard just because it is smoother. Would I recommend one of these bikes? That is the question. Now for me personally, I would say they're alright. As far as cruisers go, they're alright. There are others out there that are available that personally I prefer. However, that is just a personal preference. So should you get one, well, that's entirely up to you. It's an okay bike. It's alright at this price point. I think there are other bikes that I would probably look at first. I certainly think the riding position on the Vulcan S by Kawasaki is better. But if you could change the seating position on this, then this may well be one that you could opt for, but again, personal preference. So that'll do me. I'm back at Honda Blackpool dropping the bike off, so thanks for watching.